Hey guys, it's Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. Today on the Craft Social, we're playing fun with parts and pieces. It's a fun game where I give you some parts and pieces that you choose for yourself and collect, and then we get together and we make the mission. So the mission today is a set of 3 cards, and you needed 3 card bases, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. 3 pieces of cardstock, your choice of color. I've got very vanilla, basic gray, and so saffron. My card bases are so saffron also. And these are 4.25 by 5.5. We've got designer series paper. Again, your choice of designs, patterns, paper. These are 3 by 5, 3 pieces. 3 very vanilla or whisper white die cut pieces. I have this label here. There's 3 of them and they are cut with the stitched rectangles dies. I call it H. It's about 3.25 by 1 5/16. And then 3 punched pieces or die cut pieces, cardstock color of your choice. I have Bumblebee here. And I cut those with what I like to call the swoopy square, or more formally known as Label Me Lovely punch. Now we're going to use these pieces. You can't add any more cardstock, can't add any more designer series paper, but you can add all the embellishments you want. And you can cut these pieces into any size or shape that you want. All right, so that's the idea behind the game. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare our card bases. I'm going to use this Hive 3D embossing folder. I'm going to emboss the front of all of my cards. Now, of course, for parts and pieces, you can do whatever you want with your cards. You could stamp your background. You could use your Simply Score tool to emboss your background. You can leave them just the way they are with a cardstock, plain cardstock background. But for me, I'm going to do all of these with this Hive 3D embossing folder. I'm going to do a whole card front, which means that I'm going to put it in there, and then I'm going to put the back of the card through the machine. I'm on the number 1 platform. I'm going to square everything up so that my folder does not hang over my platform at all. And then we're going to put number 4 on top of that. Make sure we square it up and be careful that your folder, your platform, and your number 4 do not drag against the edge of the machine anywhere. You don't want to ruin your folder. I love the look of a fully embossed card front with no skipping along the folds, but it is a technique that you have to do with some caution because you don't want to drag this edge, this folder edge, along the machine as you're cranking because it will scrape the edge right off. So if you do it with care, you can get this edge to edge card front emboss, and this folder is fantastic. Now here's a fun thing about the Hive folder. You can do it so that it looks like empty cells in a beehive, or you can fold it the other way, and I think it looks kind of like bubble wrap. All right, let me grab a bone folder, and we're going to fold our card bases up. I did the first set, which I still haven't given you a peek of, I know, with the kind of bubble wrap look. With this one, I'm going to do kind of the beehive side, and then just running my bone folder over, and now I have 3 embossed card fronts. Next thing we're going to do is our designer series paper. Now our designer series paper is from Daffodil Afternoon. I love this celebration freebie. Grab this while you still can. It's free with a $50 order. We're going to be using some Bumblebee ink, some Bumblebee cardstock. Now is a great time to stock your essentials. So restock your cardstock, grab the in colors before they're gone. Get that bundle that you've had your eye on while there's still a bundle discount before the catalogs retire. And while you're at it, enjoy this Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper free with $50 purchase. We had some questions about Bumblebee re-inkers. They should be back along with Misty Moonlight mid-March. March 14th is the ETA, so let's hope that we get that one back before it's gone for good. I cut all of my designer series paper down from 3 by 5 to 3 by 3 and 2 by 2. Let's get them on our card bases. I'm just going to mix and match these. So I'm going to do a gold and a black. I'm going to do a black and a gold. And then I'm going to do black and a gold, like that. And you can mix and match your pieces however you want. You can cut them up, but you can't add any more for fun with parts and pieces. So I'm going to do a 2x3 and a 3x3 on each of these card bases, just mixing and matching. And I just toggled them a little bit. All right, so let me do the other 3. All right, there's my last designer series paper piece. Now we're going to go back to our parts and pieces. We have 3 very vanilla rectangles and 3 bumblebee swoopy squares. I am going to add a little bit of detail on my swoopy squares. I'm using the Blessings of Home stamp set for my greetings in my background here. And we're going to stamp bumblebee on bumblebee, but we need a little grid paper here to protect our surface. I'm going to use this big, beautiful floral bouquet with bumblebee ink and add a texture to our labels. A little bit of pattern, just a small detail that really helps complete the whole look of the card. So we'll do our 3 swoopy squares, bumblebee on bumblebee. And you can see it dries a little bit lighter. It's not quite as intense. Let's slide that aside. And now our greetings. We're going to use the 3 greetings that fit here. There's What a Beautiful Day for Love. We can get through anything together. And now I'm going to stamp Thank You for Inspiring Me on the 3rd one. Got Memento Tuxedo Black. Gonna get that good and inked so we get a nice black font. And we're gonna stamp center top to bottom, but all the way to the right. So we have room for our next little step here. All right, let's put that to the side. While we're stamping, let's leave the memento there for just a minute. Got my bumblebees here. There's 3 different bees. I love these. They're from the Coordinating Honeybee Home stamp set. We're going to take some of that vanilla cardstock and we're going to stamp one of each bee for each of our cards now. By the magic of television, I already did 2 sets, but we're going to do one for the video here. So we're going to stamp our bee that's headed to the left. We're going to stamp our bee that's headed to the right. And then we're going to stamp our full view. So one of each bee in Memento Tuxedo Black. And we're going to color. When I'm coloring like this to make a set of cards, I will color in batches. So I've got Daffodil Delight combo pack here, Stampin' Blends, light and dark. And I'm going to do my bees, all of the yellow, all at one time. Do a little bit of shading on these guys. Kind of bring them to life with a little bit of shadow. Okay, then I've got all the yellow done. Next I'll come in with light basic black and dark smoky slate. And I like the light basic black. The dark basic black is a little bit too black out for my taste. I also have a very heavy hand when I color, so I like to use the dark smoky slate light basic black as my choice for coloring black. So we're gonna do the bee and the alternating pieces, the face, and I'm gonna go dark smoky slate, and then where the artist drew in the shadow, I'm gonna follow that shadow, put a little bit where the head meets the body, maybe where the legs meet the body, and then bring together the light basic black with the dark smoky slate. And I feel like I get a nice black that doesn't look black out. And I'm gonna do that for all 3 of my little bees, color their faces, legs, and body segments, the little stripes. All right, there's our bees. Let's add a little bit of light pool party to the wings. It'll make them look like they're dimensional, like they're remembered. We don't want our bees to look like we forgot to color the wings. So a little touch of light pool party, where the light pool party blends back to Berry Vanilla. We'll touch that with the color lifter. And there are our bees. Let's grab our Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine and cut them out. The Honeybee Home can be bundled with the Honeybee Blooms dies, and you can save 10%. We're going to use the bees and some of the botanicals. Then we're also going to use the flowers out of the Coordinating Flowers of Home die. So this is all from that Mega Suite. Pop the basic gray on the end there, and then my bumblebees. We're going to cut one sprig for each card. We're doing a set of 3, so we'll have to run 3 passes. We're going to have 3 bees for each card. That'll require 3 passes. And then we'll also have 3 of this little flower trio for each card. So I'm going to make a couple of passes and get all my bits cut out, and I'll meet you right back here. We'll get this set of cards assembled. And there's our bumblebees. Aren't they so sweet? They look so real. I've got one more pass to go with my little flower trio. Let me give that a crank. I prepared my bees ahead of time with a little Stampin' Dimensional on the back, and I prepared my 2 sets of flowers with some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. You could cut these with a little bit of that dimensional foam, make them super easy. I'm going to take your pick tool and pop out my last set of flowers. There they are. Got 3 of these sprigs from Basic Gray, 1 for each card. Let's pop out our last one. Isn't that so beautiful? So delicate. All right, now, before we flip these guys for some dimensionals on the back, let's get Linka Stella and add a little Linka Stella for their wings. Give them a nice little iridescent shimmer. I love this touch. I'm going to cut up some mini dimensionals. I'll cut them into halves and quarters and put them on the back of my flowers and my bees. All right, we've got our bits for all 3 cards. Let's bring one back in here, and we're going to sort out. Got my bees, 3 flowers, a sprig, and a greeting. The rest we can slide aside because all my cards are going to be the same. We're just going to have a little bit different designer series paper and a different greeting. So all the assembly will be the same for all 3 cards. Now, you'll remember we can use all the embellishments we want. No more cardstock, no more designer series paper, but embellishments are fair game. So I am going to bring in these doilies. They are Heart and Home doilies. You get 30 in a package, 3 each, or 10 each of 3 colors: Cinnamon Cider, Misty Moonlight, and Basic Gray. I'm going to grab a Basic Gray, and we're going to glue a Basic Gray doily, and then our gorgeous swoopy square with that floral impression. We'll put that right in the center. We're going to add thank you for inspiring me. Beautiful, right? Now, here's our sprig. Before we do our sprig, let's add a little bit of linen thread. Some more texture, some more whimsy. I love how with the big loopy bows and long tails, it can kind of look like a bumblebee trail, like buzzing through the air. Love this stuff. I also love that we're bringing in kind of another neutral tone and texture. So we're going to tie a loopy bow, snip it from the spool, and going to roll up a mini glue dot, put that on the back of the knot and right on the corner of the label. Add some liquid glue. I'm going to use strategic spots on the back of my sprig. So at the ends where the flowers are, and then where there's bigger leafy areas down the bottom of the stem. And I like to just squeeze the glue bottle really lightly and then streak. I'm going to add that over our bow. So cool. All right, then we'll bring in our bigger bee. Don't cover your greeting. Don't cover your bow. Not entirely anyway. And then this little guy cruising right. This little guy over here cruising left. And we'll add some little pops of color with our flowers. 1, 2, and then that little guy. So sweet. Now, I feel like we've got a really cool card here, but every card can use just a little bit of bling. So I've got some rhinestone basic jewels here, and I'm gonna go ahead and add one of these medium ones, and then a little one, and then a third little one, kind of off the page there. There's our thank you for inspiring me parts and pieces. And how about we can get through anything together? And what a beautiful day for love. All right, you guys, I hope that you had fun with parts and pieces. If you decide to take the challenge, the measurements are on the kitchen table Stamper Craft Social. The link is below the video. We are hosting a challenge. Anybody is welcome to play. Use your Stampin' Up! Supplies by March 1st at noon. Make your set of 3 cards using just the parts, pieces, and embellishments, and share with us. Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social, link below the video. If you've got questions about the Craft Social or the challenge, there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, email Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. And to shop Stampin' Up! 24/7, you can buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net and then click shop. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the challenge. I can't wait to see your cards. See you next time.